The crafter block has finally been added to Minecraft, and it is super fun to use. I've been enjoying it a lot, but today I'm going to be teaching you how to use it in your own builds. If ever you need, say, a gold farm, bamboo farm, pumpkin melon farm, and you look up a tutorial, you're not going to find one that's using the auto crafter if it was made before this update, so I'm going to be teaching you how to add it into a build. First off, we have to start with the absolute basics as to how to craft it. You need 1 crafting table, 1 dropper, 5 iron, and 2 redstone. If we deconstruct the crafting table and the dropper, you can see the total amount of materials are shown in my inventory there if you so care. And now let's look at how to actually use this thing. The crafter block can be placed facing upward or facing downward. In any orientation, it will always shoot the direction of the face looking part. If you use a comparator, it can emit a redstone signal of up to 9 blocks. And it does this in a similar fashion of a chest or a hopper, where the more items you put into it, the larger the output is. However, the auto crafter is very unique because every single item you put into there, unless it's stacked into the same slot, will emit 1 further redstone signal. It's important to know, though, that if there's 3 blocks in it, it will travel 3 blocks, and that redstone and redstone lamps, it can travel a bit further than the redstone actually goes. So the lamps might not always be an accurate calculation, but if you know how they work, they can be. With that logic, if there are 10 active redstone lamps, I marked the 9th redstone in it, then that means it is going the furthest possible value. If the auto crafter is capable of making a block, all it needs is a redstone signal from any direction, and it will shoot it out, similar to a dropper, which is why there's a dropper in the recipe. The easiest way for it to detect if there's 9 blocks inside is to build 9 blocks of redstone that eventually link back to it. However, you'll notice that you need 10 to actually connect the block. However, in this specific situation, you could of course place a redstone repeater to get to that very end goal, but the recommended thing to do is actually just to place a single block. That way the redstone signal is going to be going into that block, which will also power the crafter. If you want more in-depth ways of how to use the craft, that won't happen in this video. You can always, of course, find someone else on the internet who's probably smarter than me, and they'll teach you a lot about crafters. There's so much you can do with these things, but I'm just simply going to teach you how to attach these things to previously built farms. So what I have here is a simple bamboo farm. Observer detects growth, a piston shoots it downward, collected by a minecart hopper. Absolutely nothing special. However, using an auto crafter, we can use this bamboo to craft a few different things. With just the plain bamboo item, there's a few recipes you can make, such as scaffolding, sticks, and of course, a bamboo block. Now it's that last one that we're going to be looking at because it's a super easy full grid of crafting table bamboo. You completely fill the grid and it's going to make a bamboo block. That's perfect for what we're doing. Great demonstration. Now this bamboo block by itself isn't anything unique. You can also strip it with a wooden axe to make a yellow variant, but what this is unique about is if you put it just by itself in a crafting table, it will create 2 bamboo planks. This is beneficial because we essentially made a wood farm without using actual wood. Now we can consistently craft bamboo planks. Now, these planks of course can do everything that any other plank can do. It can craft doors, it can craft chests, it can craft fences, it makes all of that neat stuff. However, when you craft these things, obviously it's the bamboo variant. You have a bamboo door, you have a bamboo raft. It's not actually always the same. Something that is the same, however, if you really wanted to do it, is chests and crafting tables. If you craft a chest out of bamboo, it's going to look not like a bamboo chest, but like a wood chest. So if you wanted, you could make a reliable stick farm, crafting table farm, chest farm, and you wouldn't be constantly stuck with bamboo doors and bamboo rafts. Now, I'm not going to be telling you exactly how to do this. I'm not going to be giving you blueprints and demonstrations on build this, put this block here, and now you'll have a chest farm, now you'll have a crafting table farm. I'm going to teach you on how to do this yourself, so how the auto crafter works, and how you can use it to your own benefit to make whatever you need, whether that be chests, crafting tables, or iron helmets. The final thing that you need to know is when using that singular block in order to complete a circuit, for whatever reason, obviously the redstone is not going to automatically attach to the block. You could make it longer so it does, but if you wanted a guaranteed way for the redstone to attach to the block for space reasons or whatever you might need it for, a target block will always take in redstone. Now we can finally get to farm examples and how to use this. Obviously, I'm going to start with the bamboo farm because it makes wood, and wood has a lot of issues or problems that creates very specific scenarios. So when you think about it, if you have a constant redstone clock on a crafter and you constantly fill it with planks, you're not going to be getting stairs or slabs. You're going to be constantly getting buttons. And if you don't want buttons, I can help. You can see this bamboo farm is currently producing bamboo block, which of course we need to put into another crafter so it can produce bamboo planks. Now, similar to a button, all we need to do is put a singular block into the crafter and we will get planks, so we can have an automatic timer for this very specific scenario. Also, something very unique about the crafter is if you put a block, doesn't matter if it's a hopper, a chest, or even a furnace, when it dispenses, it goes directly into any sort of storage. Obviously, this isn't going to work for say, a target block, a moss block, nothing happens then. It gets stuck in between. If the block you place in front of it can hold an item, it's going to be put directly into it. So of course the block we're going to be putting here is a crafter. Because we need to convert it directly into planks, we can just have a constant timer going off and it will always be crafting these into planks. So now we have a sufficient plank farm. How do we turn planks into, say, chests, sticks, crafting tables? The method I'm going to use here can obviously be changed in your own personal way, but I'm going to have a large chest that goes into 2 different hoppers. What this does is it will evenly separate the bamboo planks into both of them. Now, we can make one side have a crafter that makes, say, crafting tables and the other chests. Here's the shape that I decided to go for, because that way they're on 2 different Y levels and the redstone theoretically should not interfere. Next, all you have to do is set the crafter so it's the right shape for the object. A chest, you're just going to have to fill in the middle part, and a crafting table, you're going to have to fill it in, so there's only 4 possible available spots. It doesn't matter where you fill it in, it's just as long as there's 4 spots. For the crafter that is producing chests, I just make a simple 9-block long redstone and a block at the end so it's attached to the crafter. And you can see that we have a problem the second I build it. Obviously, we can use a target block to fill in that gap so it's actually attached. And now that crafter is producing crafting tables. However, you can see that it's just shooting them directly into the target block. And that's not what we want. So one of the solutions here is just face the crafter upwards, place a second chest. Super easy that way. And the other solution is just face it a different direction with the chest. You could add hoppers, make it spin into hoppers, make it go any direction you want. All you need to do here is just move the direction it's going to shoot, and you have a solution. We can use the same exact method on the chest crafter, and it's a super easy one because all we have to do is place a chest in front of it because the redstone doesn't get in the way. Looking back at this later in the future, I realized that you could also just move the redstone for that crafting table hopper so it's also facing forward, and that would make it really easy for all of your crafting tables and chests to filter into one spot. Now we're going to move on to a bit more of a complicated farm. In front of me I have a fully functional pumpkin and melon farm. Now you can see this farm is actually very good. I'll leave a link for it in the description, of course, and it's producing pumpkins and it's producing melons, just as it should. Except there's one problem. It doesn't actually produce melons. I just put those into the chest. It produces melon slices because when a melon block is broken by a piston, it creates slices. You can see if I increase the tick right here, there should be a melon. There you go. There's a melon block. It makes the slices. It doesn't actually make the melon block. So we need to craft the 9 slices into a melon block and somehow filter out the pumpkins. Easy. All we have to do here is just build a simple item sorter. Since there's only 2 items being sorted here, all we have to do is have a single item sorter, so that way when you put pumpkins in, it goes into one chest, but when you put the melon slices in, it goes into the other chest. Now, it's really important that one has to understand how item sorters work because it's really helpful when using crafters. The setup I have right here will sort out the 6 different types of dirt into 6 different chests while also sorting any other random item into the final chest you see at the end, that double chest. You can see it's working really well and I actually know what I'm doing. So let's learn a little bit about item sorters. The second to the top hopper that's connected to the comparator has 41 of the item you want to sort and then 4 of the filler blocks. The filler blocks I chose here are raw copper blocks. And I did this specifically because no one's ever going to touch raw copper or put it in this chest. If you put the filler block in that chest, it will mess a few things up. However, if you really are afraid that someone's, say, going to put a block of raw copper in that sorting chest, what you can do is you can rename the block of raw copper, and then you can fill the hopper with these fill blocks. Next, you need to understand that a hopper will not work if it's constantly being powered by a redstone source. So you can see that it didn't even take my redstone, but if I put it in manually, say another hopper, that it stays in that bottom hopper and doesn't actually go to the other chest. This item sorter takes advantage of that by making the hopper with the fill blocks, every time something enters it, only one item leaves. We can use this exact same system with melons instead of dirt, and then you can have that chest at the very end be pumpkins because we're only sorting one thing. You can see the way I have it set up is a single hopper that feeds into one final chest, and of course the hopper and the sorter system below it. You fill it with 4 filler items, doesn't matter what it is, as long as they won't be put in that chest, and then 41 of whatever you want, in this case melons. Congratulations, you have a pumpkin melon farm that sorts out the pumpkins and melons. That's not what we're here for, is it? We need to turn those melon slices into full melon blocks for maximum storage. And of course, keep in mind, doing this doesn't increase the efficiency of the farm whatsoever, it just makes it so you can use up less space. And you seem cooler to your friends. We're going to replace that chest with an auto crafter, and we're going to set up the system that we used for the bamboo, where we have 9 blocks of redstone going out and 1 going back in. However, something that I learned while filming this is there's a different way you can actually do this. If you extend the crafter out 1 by using another hopper so it doesn't interfere with the item sorting system, you can place 9 blocks of redstone all the way one direction that connects to a repeater, a bunch of redstone torches, and it will eventually power the crafter. This is perfect depending on the situations you're in. You know, it's very long, it takes up a lot of space, but only in one direction. And that's what I'm using here. And just like that, we already have it set up where the melons sort, and the melons will automatically craft themselves into melon blocks. So now we have a chest full of pumpkin blocks, and now we have a chest full of melon blocks. And since they're right next to each other, it's super easy. You can just combine the two with a few hoppers. And that's it, you've successfully added the auto crafter into one of your farms. For this next farm, I'm going to be showing you how to do a similar thing here that's a bit different, where I went into a pre-made world of mine where I have a functional gold farm. Now, I already built an auto crafter for this, but I'm going to redo it so you can find out how it works. Now, the way this simple gold farm works is it constantly breaks nether portals, which in turn, the bigger the nether portal, the more pigment it spawns, massive nether portal, more pigment. You know, it's just producing a lot of pigment. Now, zombie pigmen, when they're killed, in this case there's a trident killing chamber, when they're killed they drop rotten flesh, gold ingots, gold nuggets, and sometimes gold swords. The auto sorting method I explained previously, where I have it pushing out all the junk, in this case it's the rotten flesh and the gold swords, it just gets pushed into fire, and the gold ingots, nuggets, all of that gets sorted into 2 chests. Now what the auto crafter does here is it automatically turns all of those small golden nuggets into golden ingots for easier storage. Golden nuggets don't craft anything else other than golden ingots. We can actually take advantage of this by using that same exact redstone clock I showed earlier with 2 observers. When I revert the farm back to how it normally was, it's just the gold and the gold nuggets going into one chest, and then you'd have to craft them manually if you so wanted, but obviously that's not what we want to do. Conveniently for us, the gold nuggets and the gold ingots are already sorted, so all we have to do is place a crafter on top of them. It's easier if you have the gold nuggets sort into the middle area, so that way the redstone clock you build can just be connected to both of them. Now this is going to dispense gold ingots and nothing else because gold nuggets don't make anything else. And then we already have the previously gold ingot existing. Then we just place down a chest that connects the auto crafter to the other side of the farm that has the gold ingots. And then just like that, we're done. That's actually all you have to add on to this farm is a single auto crafter, a redstone clock, and then just combine the 2 chests again. Super easy to do this, but of course, when you're looking at a farm tutorial that was created before 1.20.1, it's not going to have an auto crafter with it, so that's what I'm helping you out with. Of course, this also works with an iron farm. If you wanted to build iron blocks, you would obviously sort out the iron ingots, and then you can build iron blocks, or say iron minecarts. iron helmets, chest plates, you know, you can sort all of these things, and now you actually know how to do that. I hope this video helped you out and now you know how to use the auto crafter and attach it to any previous farms or new farms that you're going to make, and I'll see you guys in my next video.